Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing my March TBR. So I didn't post one in February, and to be 100% honest, I didn't do a lot of reading in February. It was, of course, the month of the Olympics. And if you didn't know, I'm a very big figure skating fan slash hater. Mostly a hater, but I watch it all the time. And so I was pretty locked in on that, and then I do also watch a bit of short track speed skating. I haven't really been as up to it like the past year or two, and so I was watching it and I was like, what happened to like all these people? And so then I had to go Googling. But basically I was watching a lot of the Olympics, so I didn't make a February TBR, and I didn't do that much reading anyway. Obviously I did some reading like romance from my vlog and all of that, but there wasn't too much reading done. So we're back to it with a March TBR, and I've decided to add a little bit of fun because I miss my TBR game, but I'm too lazy to make a TBR board. So I have some wheels for us to spin. So I have one which is my physical TBR. So I think maybe we'll spin like that once or twice. There's only like 10 books on it. Then I have my priority books for the year that I'll spin once. And then I have a wheel with some prompts that will spin maybe like 4 times or something. So let's just get into it. I suppose we'll start with the books that I own physically. So I have Forest Mage by Robin Hobb, The Will of the Many by James Islington, The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin, Jade War, Jade Legacy, The Grace of Kings, The Broken Sword, Titled Creatures, Witchlight. If I get The Broken Sword, I will probably substitute in the first book because I want to reread that. And obviously if I land on Jade Legacy, I will finally finish Jade War. I am actually halfway through that book. Yep, I should have known that it was going to happen. Like, the one that I did not want to appear, The Broken Sword, is my first book. So The Broken Sword is the third and final book in the Dragon Spirit series. This is an independent published series, and I really enjoyed the first 2 books. I gave them both 4 stars. I read them in 2024, and they were like some of my highest 4 stars of the year. They didn't quite make the 5-star, but they were close. And this is obviously the third and final book, but the audiobook is not available. I'm not even sure how they started on it yet, and I read the first 2 as audiobooks. So I was kind of like, will I reread them physically and then get to this physically? Because I am really excited to know how it ends, and I don't know how long I'm going to be waiting for the audiobook, or will I just wait for the audiobook? But it looks like that decision has been made for me, so I am not going to get to this book this month, let's be honest, realistically, but I will try to physically read The Iron Crown. So this is the first book in the series, and we start at the very beginning of the story with a character called Fen. And he wakes up being attacked by this dragon spirit, and he is helped by these women that are nearby, and when they ask him who he is, where he's from, he has no response. He can't remember anything about his past except his name. And they are very skeptical about this. They're not sure whether or not to believe him, but they decide they will help him to get to the mainland so he can try and figure out who he is and where he's going. There's a lot more to it. I really enjoy this series. Highly recommend. So book number 1 of the month is going to be The Iron Crown. I'll actually probably keep it on the wheel, shouldn't I? Because I will not actually be reading that yet. So if I land on it again, then I'm reading the second book in the series. Okay, so let's go for spin number 2. Oh my god, don't do this to me. You're not, okay. Guys, it was this close. It was this close. That is Witchlight by Susan Dennard. I will say, at the time that I'm filming it, I have not finished my reread of Witch Shadow. So Witchlight is the 5th, not including the novella, which the novella is actually required reading. So kind of the 6th book in the Witchland series. It is the finale. I have been waiting a very long time to get to this book. I'm very excited. I got this book as soon as it came out. Also, this copy is really floppy for some reason, and I'm not complaining about it. And I went to pick it up, and I was like, uh-oh, I don't actually think I remember enough to read this. So I embarked on a reread. I have reread Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Sight Witch, and Blood Witch. This month I was hoping to get to Witch Shadow and Witchlight, but I wasn't reading like the first entire week, and then I was reading romance books, and then I was picking up other stuff. So hopefully I am still planning on getting Witch Shadow done before the end of the month, but if not, I will actually just read the 2 of them because I don't know how much longer I can wait. Like, we're in March. This came out November? So I can't wait any longer, I don't think. I'm so excited to get to this book. I really do love it. Series. It is one of the only YA series that I'm like still really invested in, and I'm scared. but I'm also very excited. So this series, it starts with Safi and Isolde, and they are thread sisters, and they use Safi's ability as a truth witch, which they must keep hidden because otherwise she would be used as a political pawn, to try and trick people in like card games so that they can build some money to get out of the city that they live in. And one day Safi somehow gets tricked and they are setting a trap to try and get their money back. And the trap goes off for the wrong people, and that ends up drawing the attention of a blood witch to the pair, and they end up having to go on the run to try and escape him because he now knows who she is. So much has happened since then. Like, that doesn't even scratch the surface, but I really enjoy it. I'm excited and terrified. So now onto my next wheel. We have a wheel that is my top 10 priority reads for the year. And last year I actually ended up failing. I started the year really strong, but then I dwindled. So if I have to read one every month because it's on my TBR, then I will definitely get to them. I have read one so far, which was Well Actually by Maisie Eddings, but the rest are still up for grabs. And also one of Broken Sword is on this list, and Witchlight. So I already actually have one, but we'll still spin anyway. So let's see which of my priority reads I must read. Okay. Ooh. Empire of Shadows by Jacqueline Benson. So this is a fantasy romance series, and I believe it's kind of like a cozy romantasy, which is my vibe. So I've heard it compared a lot to Heather Fawcett and India Holton, and I have read books from both of those authors and very much enjoyed them. Now, that's actually not the reason why I know who she is. I know her because I am a member of Olivia Atwater's Patreon, and if you are in that, there is a Discord, but it is shared amongst a load of authors. So obviously Olivia and Nicholas Atwater are in there, but also Jacqueline Benson is in there. And so I am like vaguely aware of her books because of that reason, as well as I feel like I've seen a couple of people discussing them recently, including Books and Law. She was like kind of obsessed with this book. She really liked this book. We don't necessarily agree on romance or fantasy, but we seem to like cozy romantasy. Like, I really enjoyed India Holton's books, The Ornithologist's Fielded Guide to Love, not as much as she did. And I also really liked Emily Well's Encyclopedia of Fairy, which she also liked. So I'm hopeful for this book. I'm not 100% sure what this is about. I do know that it involves archaeology, I believe, and I think that they have to team up together reluctantly, and I'm excited. Sometimes I read a book and it really surprised me because I would not have guessed that I would like it. And that happened to me when I read The Ornithologist's Fielded Guide to Love. Because I do seem to sometimes like romance books. And I love fantasy. But romantasy, fantasy romance, whatever, does not seem to work for me. Like, it just does not seem to be clicking with me. Like, I read them and I'm like, I would like this when I was 15, but it does not give me enough depth of anything. It doesn't give me enough depth of the romance, of the fantasy, of the world building, of anything. Like, I'm like, this is something I would eat up when I was 15. Like when I was reading like Cassandra Clare, like the angst and the drama and all of that, but not necessarily what I yearn for now. But I think the cozy romantasies might be for me. So hopefully this proves me right. So yes, so now let me get to my wheel of prompts. I think we'll do maybe 4 of these. I feel like that's a good number because that'll bring me to like 7, which I think is an okay amount. Obviously, I aim to read more, but I don't always get there. I just remembered that Realmathon is supposed to be happening in March. Make these fit somehow. Yeah, I'm gonna just force these in. Also, because it's March, you should be aware that I am going to read the Murderbot Diary series because I always read them every March because give me the points. So I would imagine I will reread the entire Murderbot Diary series. Yeah. I can't believe I forgot about it. I just kind of can't really believe that it's March, so I think that's probably why. So let's get to our prompt wheel, and I think we'll spin this like 4 times. So let's do spin number 1. Ooh. Is it gonna... a 2026 release. Okay. Let me see what I have in my... I don't think any releases that like weren't on my radar have really like spoken to me yet, but we shall have a nosy. Never mind. I know exactly what I'm going to read for this. 2026 release, Green and Deadly Things by Jen Lyons. That comes out at the start of March, I believe. Maybe middle of March. And I'm going to read it. I have actually pre-ordered the Inkstone edition. I have the Inkstone edition of These Guy on Fire by also by the same author. This is what it looks like. It is gorgeous. And so I got the opportunity to get like pre-sale for it, and so I was like, yes please, so I should be getting that, and obviously I'm very excited for it. I mean, shipping can take a while, so I should get it before the end of March, and I will read it. I don't know too much about this, to be honest. I tend to go into Jen Lyons books fairly blind, it would seem, but I do know that this is a story that follows like necromancy, the present time, but once upon a time in this world, necromancy used to be everywhere, and they believe that the necromancers destroyed the world, and that is how history has been written. But it turns out they might have been wrong. And now these monsters soon start appearing and causing all sorts of havoc. And we follow a knight who has fought and trained his entire life, and he decides to wake one of the sleeping necromancers underneath the keep. And she wakes up and she knows some things that history seems to have forgotten. And I think it might actually also be a bit of a romance between the two of them. And I'm just really excited. I love stories about how like history being written by the victors, and I love Jen Lyons. I'm very optimistic about this. So yes, so that is book number 4 on this list. Yes. So let's do prompt number 2 for what, book number 5? Ooh, a book from my library. I remember what it was. To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquel Blackgoose. Apologies if that is wrong. I will check the pronunciation when I actually read it. This, I do believe, is a YA book, which makes me nervous because I didn't know that before I requested it from my library. But I'm still going to give it a try because I've heard good things from people, even people who don't really love YA. I purely cover, and I remember hearing good things, and it was like a new to my library, and so I was like, I'll just request that. And so I think I've recently gotten the ebook for it, so I mean, it's sitting there waiting for me. So if anything is going to fit this prompt, it's this. So that's a 4.11 on Goodreads, which is good. I believe we follow a teenager who is indigenous to this land, and her people believe and tell stories of a time when dragons used to live and walk among them. And one day she finds a dragon's eggs, and she, I think, like bonds with this, and then the like colonizers of her land find out about this, and they are really mad about it, but they can't kill her or kill the dragon because I think dragons are very valuable to them. And so she gets brought to a training academy, but they don't like her. They don't like the way she goes around things, that she isn't doing things the right way. And if she doesn't succeed here, then I think her dragon will be killed. So I think it's about her coming to terms and learning to do things her own way, and to like kind of find pride in that, and to maybe change the world. I'm intrigued about it. As I said, a little nervous because it's YA, but YA can still surprise me sometimes. So hopefully this will be one of those. Then prompt number 3 is going to be an audiobook. Okay, I'm going to put in All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This is the first book in the Murderbot Diary series. It's one of my top 5 series of all time. I love it so much. I read it every year. Actually, most years I've read it twice. Last year I was like, no, you can't keep doing that every single time you're in a slump, Rebecca. So I stopped doing that, and I only reread it once. And I do like to reread them in March because March is Realmathon, and it's easy points. Not gonna lie to you, it's easy points. I love this story. They're very quick to listen to, so I read them. So I'm gonna do that again this year. So I am putting the first book, but the entire series counts, I think. So here's the Illuminated editions. So volume 1 has the first 2 novellas, volume 2 has the 3rd and 4th novella, then we have just the novel by itself, Network Effect, and then volume 3 has the most recent novellas. So yes, so I will be reading all of these, but the one that I'm putting on is All Systems Red. Series follows Murderbot, and Murderbot has hacked its governor module, meaning that it is a free unit, and it does not have to do what it is being told to. But because it doesn't want to get found out, it decides that it will go along with what it is supposed to be doing, and it just kind of half-asses its job watching a lot of media. And then Murderbot realizes that something or someone is trying to kill its humans, and it decides to stop half-assing its job and fully do it. I love this series. I just love it. So our final spin and our final prompt is going to be an adult novel. Okay, so this one, I mean, the options are really endless here. I think what I'm going to put on, because I read like the first page and then stopped, is I'm going to put on The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book in the Dreamblood duology, and this is definitely one of the series I think from her that I've heard the most mixed reviews. This and The City We Became, I think, have the most mixed reviews, whereas I think her other two series, which I have read, generally have positive. But these ones, I've definitely heard more mixed things, and I didn't love The City We Became, which is her other series that has. These are nothing alike as far as I know. This, I think, as far as I know, is just very, like, it's very dreamy and not, like, very, like, settled in reality. And so I think it isn't a lot of people's favorite. So yes, so I don't know what it's about. I just know that I want to read everything in N.K. Jemisin's backlist. And I think this series is the last. And I think she has a short story collection, which I don't usually like short stories, but I'm like, completionist. Do I do it? So there's a dream goddess, and they harvest the magic of the sleeping mind and use it to heal, soothe, and kill those judged corrupt. And then there's a conspiracy where somebody is murdering innocent dreamers in the goddess's name. And I think our main character has to protect someone and watch the city. So yeah, I think I'm going to like this. I think I'm going to be, because I know a lot of people who haven't liked this, but I feel like I'm going to be in the unpopular opinion. I'm going to like this book. I just feel it in my bones. So hopefully I'm right. So yes, so this month I'm going to be reading, or rereading, The Iron Crown, Witchlight, Green and Deadly Things, To Catch a Dragon's Breath, The Killing Moon, and All Systems Red by Martha Wells. So I think this is a good collection of books. I'm excited about these. So as I mentioned, I will, because it's Realmathon, I'm going to be trying to read quite a bit, which includes the entire Murderbot Diary series. So this stack is already getting bigger as the moments pass, because that doesn't include the audiobooks and ebooks that I want to get to. And Empire of Shadows, I forgot about that. I'm so sorry. So Empire of Shadows as well. And then I also am really falling behind. I wanted to read some sci-fi this year. I haven't touched a single sci-fi, and Murderbot reread does not count. The new book that comes out in May does count. Rereads do not count. So I would like to read a sci-fi, and I also haven't read a single nonfiction this year, so I would also like to read a nonfiction if possible. I feel like I'm being very unrealistic with this. Don't necessarily think I will get to my nonfiction or my sci-fi. That might be a job for next month. Maybe I'll do a vlog out of it, catching up on my sci-fis. So already planned the April TBR, guys. So yes, so that is the TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.